Hey everyone. Today we're going to have again a little bit of a longer video, as long as my dog doesn't wake up and I need to go down. I have been thinking a lot about how you can use cold email to find message market fit, but to really turn it into a science and not just a craptacular attempt at finding your message market fit. And so first, I'm going to walk through why I was intending to do this, and then we'll talk through the methodology and some of my thoughts behind it and things like that. So this could be quite a long video. So I've been running my cold email agency for 3 years now, and something that I have said to myself, and I see many of my colleagues who also run cold email agencies do, is they will say, this was a bad offer. It was never going to work for cold email. I'm, you know, I had nothing to do with this. We did our best. That's it. And I've even said that too. And so I think for some cases, that's absolutely the truth. There are some offers that are just bad for cold email, and I won't get into it now. Maybe I'll make a whole other video about that. But there are some offers that we just won't touch with cold email because we've just been down that road before and we don't want to do it. But if we fail with a client, I am uncertain if it was because the offer was bad or were we not trying everything that we could. And so I was thinking about it. How can we build a process that's repeatable so that we can continue to test things and find message market fit repeatedly, right? And so I've created this document that I'm not sure if I'm going to put on the YouTube video. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, because it's got some stuff in there that if you become a customer of Growth Engine X, it's some stuff that we'll be doing for services for you. But otherwise, it goes through the entire process. And so let's jump into that document, and I'm just going to go through it and just explain the process. So this is the document going over I called it offer validation, but I think I'm calling it message market fit process now as well. And so basically, we're running it in 2 to 4 phases, and you can kind of understand why. And so the first phase and so it basically goes from a spectrum of, and this is my hypothesis, a spectrum of trying to go directly for a sales conversation, because we have, no matter what you see on LinkedIn of people saying you should always be adding value first, blah, 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 blah. I get that. I agree. Great offers, though, you don't need to do that. You can literally just email somebody and say, hey, I can solve this problem for you. Do you need me to solve that problem? And you can book meetings. As long as you solve that problem and they believe you, you could book meetings. So we want to move on a range from, is this an offer that we can just book meetings from? Or do we need to learn more about the market? And so the first phase is basically the closest template to a sales email that I thought we could do, but on a very broad range. The second phase, we are asking for feedback, but we're also asking if they would be interested in a sales conversation as well. And there's different ways that we do that. The third phase, we do some different things where we ask for more kinds of testing and varying levels of price and all of those things, just to see, if somebody won't take something on for free, they're not going to take it on paid, So by the third phase, we just want to see if they'll even take you up on an offer, even if it's free and you're just giving away the farm. And then we go back to testing with best lookalike customers. Now, again, this is for the people who become customers of Growth Engine X. The reason why we're doing this is because we have a way to get you launched early. And so we basically have 600 inboxes that are always warming up that you can take advantage of and we can rent out for you. And they've got great deliverability. They've got generic domains, and we run these first 4 phases. If you are a company who does not want to work with Growth Engine X, but you enjoy the content, I would say that you should start with phase 4. So if you work with Growth Engine X, our offer validation process is we do the value proposition testing with the template. We're going to do feedback surveys and some skepticism. We'll do this offer testing at varying levels of price and all these other things. And then we'll do the lookalike. If you're somebody who you just want to run this on your own, start with the lookalike test. And so now just watch this video. But if you want to run this on your own, start with the lookalike test and just keep that in the back of your mind when we go through it. So why do we need to be doing offer validation from the first place? So one, here's a perfect example. Sometimes we will launch crazy campaigns on behalf of our customers that literally take me hours and my team to put together, hours to put together. And so this is an example of an email, highly personalized, highly relevant, AI all over the place. You look at this email, which email do you think got more responses? This email, which you can read on your own, I'm not going to get into it. I'll just say that this whole line is AI generated. This is scraped data, and this is a mathematic formula and all that stuff. Then we also have this email. We're helping brands uncover their anonymous site visitors so they can do this. Could I show you how it works? Which one won? In this case, email 2 won, which is crazy, right? That's like so crazy that we had all this personalization and everything. And so now, what was the difference between email 1 and email 2? Well, really, this has all the personalization in the data. Amazing. But see here where we specifically say so that you can retarget shoppers that abandon their cart and don't leave an email behind. That is just one of the 6 things that this customer can do. And this message resonated the best. So even though email 2 won, when we went back and we redid email 2, and we redid email 2 with this amazing stuff up here, and we used that message, not only did it beat email 1 and email 2, it blew email 2 out of the water. And so the whole reason for doing offer validation is before we start going crazy with building all these tables that are going to take us hours to build, we need to make sure that the messaging that we're actually sending people is messaging that actually resonates with them. And then we can move on. And so in this part, I even say, AI messaging is a multiplier, right? So if you're getting 0 responses, AI probably isn't going to help you get responses magically unless you're changing your value proposition or something different resonates with the audience. But if you are getting responses, AI, when you use it well, can increase your responses. And so then that's what we're basically seeing. And so when we're creating this message market fit analysis for our customers, the templates that we work on work off of a spectrum from booking a direct sales call all the way to basically getting feedback. It's the same thing for the way that we create offers and we think about value propositions for the outbound channel. So the first thing, and I get this from the Client Ascension guys, they really opened my mind to this, but I just use it all the time now. So credit to them, and we're just going to talk about it. So the first thing that we think about when we're creating messaging for the outbound channel is we want to think about demand capture offers versus demand generation offers. And so I'm not going to get too deep into this, but basically, are you capturing demand with the customers that you intend to get, or do you need to generate demand? And so the simplest way to break down demand capture versus demand generation is how known is the solution that you are pitching and how commoditized is it? So for example, I know that I can get my website redone by somebody on Fiverr. I can just post on Twitter and get somebody. Like, there are a lot of people who can redo my website. I know that that is something that I can get. How many people know that it's possible to de-anonymize site visitors even if they didn't leave their email address, and then you can load them into an outbound campaign and then email them? How many people know about that? Not that many. So on one hand, you have a lot of people who about the website, and when there's not a whole lot that you can do to email people and say, hey, do you need your website done? If they don't want their website redone, there's not a whole lot that you could do. And on the demand generation side, usually you present your offer and they did not know about it. And the biggest thing that you need to do is you need to make them believe you that it's actually possible, because usually a lot of times they didn't know about it. So inherently, cold email is a demand generation channel, right? So that's why, like, website design, cybersecurity, I personally don't do staffing and recruiting, but I know other people who do staffing and recruiting. That's more on the demand capture side, where like you had to wake up one day and be like, yeah, we need to redo our website. While on demand generation, I could email you and be like, hey, what if I were to turn the last 10 posts and all the people who liked that post? What if I return all the people who liked that post into email addresses and give it to you for free? Would you want that? Like, they don't know that that's possible, and I'm just returning it to them, right? So demand generation. So we always want to take the offer of our customer and slant it towards demand generation, even if it's a demand capture offer, right? So even if we're selling bookkeeping services are inherently demand capture. Like, you know that bookkeeping is possible, but how do we turn that into a demand generation offer? So one, we could pitch it as an audit and basically say, hey, I know you have a bookkeeper now. Have you ever thought about, are they helping you save as much money on taxes as possible? Or have you just ever wanted somebody to just check their work? You never even thought about having somebody check their work, or maybe you have and you didn't know who to go to. We can generate demand on that. Another way that you can slant demand capture offers into demand generation offers is with your list as well. And so this isn't an exhaustive list of all these things, but I'm just giving you examples. So again, with bookkeeping, it would be demand capture if you were just reaching out to a list blanket, right? But if you were reaching out to a list of companies that were founded in the last 2 years, then your list is going to get a little bit better and they need bookkeeping services a little bit more. And then if you were to take it a step further and say, okay, I'm going to reach out to companies that were founded in the last 2 years and they've received funding, so I know that their bookkeeping needs to be rock solid, then again, we're going to, move it more towards demand generation. And then if I finally say I need them to be founded in the last 2 years, they're funded, and the CEO has never been a CEO before and they've never founded a company before, awesome. So now you have a very high level of like demand generation where you could say, hey, congrats on starting the company. I saw that in your LinkedIn experience, it's the first company you founded. Boom, 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 right? And so you can slant demand capture offer into a demand generation offer, either by the list that you create, or, and it's so funny now, I already forget what I was talking about because I think about this all the time. But anyway, you can rewind for that kind of review. But so anyway, we always want to slant towards demand generation. So that's the first thing that we want to think about. Then the second thing, oh yes. So now the second thing that you want to be thinking about is that every offer has multiple value propositions that create that offer. So my tagline when we speak with people is I say, we can help you send the same email that you would send if you were to research a prospect for 10 minutes, but we can send it to your entire market. That's my tagline. Now, if I were to test what people care about on outbound channels, I could say that, but is that really what people are going to care about on outbound more than anything else? I don't know. But here are all the other things that we help with. We help with email deliverability. We can score accounts for whatever data you want about those accounts. We can enrich them with whatever you want. We could build those lists. We could disqualify accounts that you think are good. We could do contact list building. We could do contact enrichment, contact scoring, copywriting, campaign strategy, insights for sending 1.5 million cold emails per month, AI messaging, CRM integrations. We can even do like when somebody signs up for an inbound form and you want to send them an AI generated email, like we do that kind of stuff too. And so, right, like there's so many different ways that we could break down that offer, and we can find the thing that when we go outbound to people, we can find the thing that is most interesting to those people on outbound. Because a lot of times when people come inbound, that's not the same thing that they're going to care about when you go outbound. So first, we want to think about all the ways that we help people in ways that would be really sexy and get their attention. And they would say, oh, I didn't know that that was possible. Awesome. I would really appreciate that. Now I remember it when I was talking about demand generation versus demand capture. You basically make them an offer, like I said before, of do you want to just audit what your other accountant is doing and that kind of stuff, right? So you could break it down and then you can slant it this way. And so you basically think, okay, what are the things that we do that people don't even really know that's possible, and how can we slant towards that? And then how could we break it up and test all these different things to see what people care about? For instance, one time I ran an email campaign basically saying to people, hey, I saw that Johnny is an SDR on your team, so I figured you're running outbound emails. I just wanted to point out to you, you guys don't have DMARC on your website, and that's really necessary for emails to not land in spam. Could I just send you a video of how to fix this? It takes 2 seconds. I don't need to hop on a call with you. I just noticed it on your website. Nobody cared. It was so funny. Like, nobody cared. Versus if I were to do a account scoring and account enrichment and like a contact scoring and contact enrichment, I could get leads all day doing that. Like, people really, really care about doing something like that. Copywriting, people don't really care about. Campaign strategy, they kind of care about, but it depends on the way that you pitch it. Yeah, and so anyway, like it just, you have to test all these things, and this is why I've created this process, because it's there's no mathematical way to go through this. So like this, I'm trying to put this mathematical way, and then I'm going to show you a hypothesis on how you could test all of this too. And so then we need to break down our value proposition. This is just another way. Actually, this is just another way to just be thinking about what you do. Basically, I have this thing where basically every offer in the entire world comes down to helping people save time, save money, make more money, live healthier, or raise their status. That's it. In B2B, you can basically cross these out, because I've not really seen people, you're just not going to talk to people about being healthier, and then raising their status. I've never really seen somebody convert an email and be like, oh, I'm going to help you get a promotion like that. I've just never really seen that work. We help people in B2B. We help people make more money. We help them save money, or we help them save time. That's what it comes down to. And a lot of times we do all three, but just in different ways, right? And so that's just another framework that you could be thinking about. Like like 6 ways I help people save time, 7 ways I help people make more money, right? Just be thinking about that. And so then we want to rewrite everything as offers, problems, and lead magnets. And so basically it's like an offer, and I'm going to run through this a little bit quickly because this isn't as important, but basically an offer is we help audience achieve outcome in time without risk reversal, right? So, and I'm just going to add this because we're right here. We help audience achieve outcome in time without risk reversal. This is classic. If you follow Alex Hormozi, classic thing. I take no credit for this. I just basically got this for him. We help teachers lose 10 pounds in under 30 days or your money back. There you go. It's very, very to the point. And so this is one way that you can be framing your value propositions. We like for Taplio, right? We help people automate and brainstorm LinkedIn content in less than 10 minutes a day, so you could fill your pipeline and you can cancel anytime, whatever that might be. And it's under $50 a month, like whatever it is, right? And so, or like Taplio could even give people the offer of like, we give you the power of a ghostwriter for 10 minutes a day for $50 a month. It's just like, it's just a no-brainer, like just ways that you could put it. So first we want to think about it as an offer. Then the second way we want to think about it is just problems. And so it's basically like, basically we want it to use value propositions, and basically in order to start a conversation with people, say, okay, hey, we help people with this. Are you guys seeing this problem right now? Or don't even say we help people with this. Literally say like, do you have a problem hiring right now? And then just start the conversation based on that. So all the different problems that you solve, you could just check and see if they have those problems. And then lead magnets, which this is the hardest one for people to crack in B2B, but this is like, if you can't think of a lead magnet, and I am, the next thing that I'm trying to hypothesize about, and I've got a big road trip coming up, and so maybe I can think about it then, is how can anyone create a lead magnet? Because a lot of my B2B customers, understandably so, it's very difficult for them to create a lead magnet. I'm sitting in a pretty awesome position as a services company because I could just perform services for free. Like that, it's not the end of the world for us to do something like that. But for some of our customers, like they only get value, they can only provide value to their customers after they integrate their CRM, you integrate your ERP, you integrate your accounting system, and then you integrate your Slack or something like that. And you have to be so bought in by that point. And so how are they supposed to be providing value for people? And so the next thing I'm trying to think about is how everyone can be providing value. And I think a lot of it comes down to just insights. Like you have earned insights about your market that they don't have. That's the whole reason you started the company, or the founder started the company, right? And so that can become a lead magnet. But anyway, I kind of digress. That's my next thing that I'm going to be thinking about. And so lead magnets, again, is like, how can you solve a micro problem for somebody up front without them paying you, in order to build goodwill and to start a conversation and to garner their interest? Right. So lead magnets is the best. Everyone should be thinking about how they could be doing, like adding value for people. And the best lead magnets, as Alex Hormozi says, is that it's a free offer you can make to potential customers that your competitors are charging money for. So we offer 5,000 contacts with validated emails and mobile numbers to potential customers, because I know that they're not getting 5,000 contacts from anybody else. I just know it for a fact. That's just not happening. And so then we get into, the next part of this where we're going to test our hypothesis. So we have 4 phases that we test these hypotheses with, or hypotheses. I don't know. And so the reason why we use templated messaging is because we want to work completely on the value proposition and nothing else. And so in phase 1, this template, and I'm going to probably make its own video about this template. So if you saw this in another video, it's the exact same template. This is probably the best sales email template that I can think of as of April 2024. I'm like, I might come up with something else. I might hate this 2 months from now. Who even knows? But the reason I love this one so much is because it modulates for whatever offer that you have. And so let's break this one down. So the reason why we start with this, again, we want to start with trying to get sales conversations as quickly as we possibly can. And if those sales conversations do not turn out to getting us if this phase does not get us sales conversations, then we're going to go from, okay, let's try to get sales conversations and then move the needle on the spectrum to learning and getting feedback so that we can use that feedback in order to build better campaigns. So let's break this one down. So, hey, first name, recency waterfall. By the way, subject line here, I'm loving the subject line lately, rando from LinkedIn. I don't know. That's just personally what I'm liking recently. Hey, first name. By the way, with subject lines, really quick, because everyone asks me about this, our hypothesis for subject lines is you want to send a subject line that it's possible that a colleague sent them that email or a customer sent them that email without lying. That is the overarching hypothesis with subject lines. And that subject line needs to beat quick question or question for first name, or like when you do like custom company name, and then like, well, here, let me just put it like, if you do this, if your subject line isn't getting an open rate better than these subject lines, just give up and just go with these subject lines. I know everybody on LinkedIn is like, I hate quick question, but so like that. Yeah, I know. But if you're not beating that, these are the go-tos of subject lines, right? Anyway, so hey, first name, recency waterfall. So let me explain the recency waterfall. A lot of people look at personalization and AI generated content as a binary between personalization and relevance. And so by personalization, it's basically like, hey, I saw you spoke at that event 3 years ago. Amazing. Like, you're such a great speaker. Buy my thing. Or I saw you went to Wharton College. Go Pennsylvania. Buy my thing. It's just a checkbox. It doesn't really do a great job of opening up the sales conversation. Of course, relevance is better. And if you can do relevance, you want to do relevance. That's the thing that you want to do. 100% completely agree. I know. For the purposes of this template, when we are working with a customer and they have an obvious relevance that they should be using, for instance, one customer that we're talking with right now, they sell into companies that have an enterprise sales motion. So we're going to change this to, hey, VP of sales, I saw Brian on your team is selling in enterprise, and so I thought it would be good to reach out. Whatever. But without that, barring those very obvious relevant ones, we use recency. And so what I mean by recency, so recency is still personalization, but the reason I like it better than just bare bones personalization is at least it makes sense to the person of why I'm reaching out to them right now. And it's because they recently joined the company. A new leader has recently joined the company. They posted recently on LinkedIn. There's company news that we found. Their CEO was on a podcast, or company news. The company LinkedIn has recently posted all these different things, right? And so specifically, I think, oh, never mind. So recency waterfall. So we have all these things. If we can't find anything recent about the company, then we will just fall back to basically, hey, first name, not sure if you handle this, or employee 1, or employee 2 is better to reach out. But I saw that your company helps fitness enthusiasts smell better, and I thought we should reach out, right? And so then that's how we segue from the recency into the messaging to be tested. We basically do the recency. I saw your LinkedIn post about, offers and value propositions. Then I dug a little bit deeper and saw how your company is helping fitness enthusiasts breathe better, and I thought we should connect. Then that's where we put the messaging to be tested. So one, we're getting this check mark of good personalization of, okay, this makes sense. This is something recent that's happened. I agree. Or we're saying, hey, I'm not sure if I should be reaching out to you or Mary. What's the deal here? And then we move on and we basically say, I saw your company does this and I thought we should connect. Now here's where we insert this. So then all of those different offers that you came up with, we insert that here. And this is where we go trial by fire. Do people care about your offer? Do they care about what you do? So we, like I said, check mark. Whether they believe that a human sent this or they just want some effort being put into the email, that's all we're trying to achieve right here. Then your value proposition to the fire. Do they care about this? Then we use AI to basically teach AI, what does your company do? And then we say, we give an input of what the prospect's company does. And then we train it with 3, 5, 7 examples, whatever we need to make it look good, where we say, okay, if we're reaching out to a company that does this, I want to say this. If we're reaching out to a company that does this, I would say this. So if we're reaching out to Gymshark with a bookkeeping offer, we'd say specifically, I think it could help you as you're selling to fitness enthusiasts to keep your books in line so that you can keep promoting and keep getting attention instead of worrying about your books, whatever that might be, right? Just quick example. Just so that, again, we can just drive home and help them imagine, what does this offer look like in my company to me? And then we say, if we could help you, and then just a quick recap of this messaging to be tested. If we could help you with your bookkeeping, would that be useful to you? Boom, boom, boom. And then PS, and then we do a custom AI generated call out. So our fallback again here is, again, let me know if I should be reaching out to employee 1 or employee 2, if they would be a better contact for this. Or we'll do something cheekier than that. Like I've made an AI generation where we look at when they attended college and then we look for positive news that happened at the college during those years and then be like, oh, I saw you attended Wharton Business School or Rutgers Business School between 2018 and 2022. How crazy was it when they won the championship? Rutgers does win championships, but you know what I mean. Another thing that we'll do is like, if they have any recommenders on their profile, we can call out their recommenders and we could say, you know, hey, saw the thing that John left, really nice. Or we might even just count up how many times the keyword in their current title exists in their past, then count up how many years they've done that, and then say, oh, it looks like you've had marketing titles for 15 years. What's been the biggest change, you know, since you started? Just something, again, so that we have this like personalization sandwich. So anyway, I spent a lot of time explaining this one because I really think that if you're trying to start cold emailing and you want to do this by yourself, this is probably the best template that I have thought of as of this point. And maybe there's people who think that they have better templates. That's great. As of this point, this is the most modular template that I can say across everyone. I believe that this is the most helpful because it modulates for whatever you need to test. Personalization, sandwich, here, messaging to be tested, this AI modulates, and then this tests, you know, it just modulates for anyone. Otherwise, I really hate templates because it just doesn't make sense. Then this is an explanation of all that stuff. Then we'll move to phase 2. So what we basically say is, you know, now we're still going to try to generate leads, but we want to just strip everything back and we're possibly looking for feedback. So one, we'll send from our own inboxes and we'll say, we have a potential client that, boom, they told me you'd find it interesting, but I wasn't too sure. If they could help you insert offer, would that be useful? I know you're not being put in a sequence, blah, 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 blah. So basically all we're doing with this is we are, I hate to say it, like just basically doing a pattern interrupt where we're basically like no marketer in the world would ever say, hey, I'm not sure if this is a good offer. Do you think it's a good offer? Like there's every marketer just comes with confidence and they just come in swinging. And so here we're just trying to interrupt that pattern a little bit by one, stripping out the AI and just letting this ride on its own. But then also just being like, you could totally tell me that this sucks, by the way, like just, you know, be honest with me. And so then we just take it from there. Then we have our market research one as well. All this really is just really a super short campaign. Again, I just want to strip away. I don't want anybody thinking that the AI messed up anything. Here, we're just breaking down the offer and we're just stripping it all back. So we'll do a poke the bear question. So it'll basically be like, Josh Braun has really great content on this. You should really check him out for these kind of questions. But we'll basically say something like, how are you automating the commission payments for your SDRs and AEs and accounting for all of the variables in their pay? Or is that an easy process for you, however you want to frame that question? If someone could help, automate all of your commission payments, would that be useful? Would that save you time? What would that be? Boom, boom. And so here we go. And then, so basically in these phases, we strip out all of the AI, and we are now even more putting your value proposition to the fire. And we're a little bit more asking people for feedback. And so if they say, yes, this would be useful, this is still a lead, but we're also saying like, hey, it's totally fine to say no, and that we're crazy on this one. And so this investor template, I almost don't want to show people because you guys are going to like go crazy about it. I'm so sorry. I might skip it. I'm not going to give you okay, here's the thing. I'm not going to give you the exact phrasing. So if you're watching this and you potentially want to become a Growth Engine X customer, I appreciate that. I'm so sorry. So for all the cold email agencies who are watching this, the only reason I'm not sharing it with you is because if you steal our actual wording, then it's just going to get crazy. This whole thing's not going to work. Basically, we have set up a website and a domain and fake LinkedIn profiles and everything that we basically look like a venture capital fund. And we basically are asking people, we're like, hey, we want to make this investment, but we're not sure. Do you even need something like this? And that's the whole premise of the campaign. If you want to find out more about that and you are interested in Growth Engine X services, I'll show you the whole template. So then we have the media template down here. And so basically, so this is something that I'm working on that I believe this could become a lead magnet for every customer as well. So if you don't have a lead magnet, this is something that we could possibly do. And so with this media template, what we're doing is we're going to pretend to be a media company. And we basically make the subject line request for quote from first name. And then we say we're speaking with other sales leaders. And we're curious if we could get a quote. No call is necessary. We just said 2 questions. Question intended to actually ask their opinion. So with this, our whole intention is what insights do we actually want to gain from the market that we genuinely don't know right now? And we're actually asking for their opinion. We don't need it to be 2 paragraphs, like just a quick 2 sentence, something that they can answer in 2 sentences. And then number 2, question intended to see if they have the problem we might be able to solve. Then we're asking them a question to basically say, oh, interesting. By the way, whatever you answer here, then we'll also say like, oh, do you have a plan for this, or do you struggle with this, or blah, 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 like whatever it might be. And then that could possibly turn into a lead, but we're more like asking for feedback to see if people even care about this, just to get them talking. Right. And so this could look like, hey, do you, on your list of priorities, how are you currently handling your book? Actually, with this one, it would be like, hey, I saw you're an early stage startup company. How are you managing your bookkeeping at this stage in your business? Do you outsource it, or is it internal? Whatever it might be. Actually, that's like so much more of a question. I don't know. And then it would be like, these, it's so subjective, and I'm trying to think about them on the fly. Maybe I should have been a little bit more prepared for this one. But so then we basically say, okay, are there any issues that you found from outsourcing your accounting or something like that? I don't know. Think on this on your own and think about the questions. I'm kind of failing at this point. I've worked all day. I did a CrossFit workout. It's been a little crazy. So anyway, then we keep it going. So then we have this media company where all we're trying to do is just get them to respond and just give us advice. Same thing with the investor template. All we're trying to do is just get them to respond and give us advice. Then phase 4. So again, if you want to run this by yourself and you have your own domains, run phase 4 as phase 1, because I personally think it's the best thing that you could possibly do. It's just so much more custom, and it's to your, brand and everything. So the first thing that we'll do with somebody's domains, their custom domains, after they warmed up for 3 weeks, is we run a lookalike campaign and a similarity between senders campaign. And so lookalikes is easy. We use Ocean.io to basically take their best case study customers, and then whatever outcome they cause for those case studies, we basically go to other companies that fit that case study. And then we say, hey, we already achieved this for, a company similar to you. This is exactly what it looked like. Would you want to chat more about that? And then the similarity between senders one, this I actually got from somebody on LinkedIn, and I'll if this person reminds me and they watch this video, I'll put their LinkedIn profile in the description so you guys can follow him. He told me about this, and I really want to give him credit, and now I kind of just forget. Oh, look, somebody's looking at this. Funny. And now I just forget that who sent it, and I really, really apologize. So if they reach out, I'll just tell you that it was them. And so the similarity between senders is like if we found that like the sender that we have, they went to the same school, they used to work at the same large company, they have the same investors, like anything that we can find similar to just bridge the gap. I've even run this before with people who have the same names, and that's even worked too. So your list is not going to be huge on either of these, but at least it just gets the ball rolling, and it just you could start just pushing things and seeing what messaging people care about, and you can start generating leads both on the lookalike side and then the similarity between senders. And so then if you're also watching this and you want to do this yourself, I didn't speak at all about follow-up emails or anything like that. And so the way we think about follow-up emails is I really like to add some kind of meme if I can to the follow-up email. And so I'm not sure how Loom is sharing this, but I'll try to make a meme really quickly. So one meme that I really like to use is, and so the reason I like a meme is because it helps get the point across, but it also cuts through the noise. And so I know people are going to be like, what? You can't send images in cold email. Yeah, if it's a follow-up and your inboxes have been warming as long as ours have, it's fine. And so there's this meme of the Suez Canal that I'll show you. And so basically a lot of times, no matter what, everyone's offer kind of helps people save time. So, here. 2 seconds. I know this isn't great for YouTube. I know, I'm coming. So sorry. So this is like one that we'll create all the time is I'll just like insert this meme and it's just problem you need solved. So your bookkeeping, updating the CRM, reaching out to leads, whatever problem you solve, we'll just label that here in as short as a time as we can, and then we just put your team's bandwidth. And like we booked a meeting with MongoDB and other huge companies with this one. So yeah, so this meme is really good. And then honestly, just like any meme that kind of just makes sense for the way you help companies, I like sending that. And then another thing that I like to do too is I'll still AI generate the next line. And I like to make like a company analogy line. So I'll just basically be like, oh, the same way that your company helps people optimize their workflows, we help people optimize their outbound. And then blah, 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 we get into it. So we'll like launch with that campaign, that company analogy, and then send a meme like that. And just double tap them on a lot of these campaigns. Some of them we only send the first email, but some of them will also double tap and do things like that too. And so in conclusion, again, one, if you want to become a customer of Growth Engine X, this is our new onboarding process. There's a link below to our wait list. I would be happy to chat with you. Two, this is just a hypothesis that I just want to put out into the world that I think we can apply the scientific method better to finding message market fit, especially on the cold outbound channel. And this is currently my hypothesis on it. And so if you just run through it one more time, you want to find a spectrum between demand generation and demand capture. And then you basically want to list out all your value propositions and how you help people, break it down into how you help people save time, save money, and make more money. Most offers are going to fall into those. And then we have these templates that you can run through. So there's just go-tos. And so then you can test your messaging and you just put your messaging to the fire and really quickly get those messages out instead of worrying about what your whole email looks like and making sure that you have like a coherent email strategy every time. Just these templates just make it a lot easier to just roll through that. And so I hope this was useful. Last time I made a video this long, I really, really appreciated how many people wanted me to make another video this long. And so if you could reach out and say lionfish or something like that, that'd be cool so that I knew that you watched the whole video. So yeah, reach out on LinkedIn. If you want to work with us, there's a waitlist sign up below in the description. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video.